literally get to now watch it in real time. They are penalizing teams that want to win and stack their rosters. So now that means teams that are right there and getting ready to jump into that next, they got to dumb their team down to get under a certain cap, right? Kaminga, hey man, look, if you want to start, sign that deal. If you don't sign that deal, they're going to with your time to devalue you. You're going to go in the open market. What they offered you is going to be off the table. What you get in the open market, they're just going to match. So if you sign in, 60 million, 80 million, 90 million, anything that's under the 120 they was originally willing to pay you, they're going to match it. The problem with that is if you don't have another buyer, you're going to be just how you are right now. Going to have to sign a qualifying deal. And guess what? They get to do the same again.
I think
off the bench.
Yeah, but he'll be a free agent at least at that point. Reports that they're looking for a sign and trade partner. But Anthony Slater, I think, who used to be at the Athletic, I don't know if he's there anymore. He still might be, but basically broke this story, basically saying, and I talked to some people in Kaminga's camp as well recently, that there was never no offer. So there was all these back and forth that he wanted 45, 50 mil a year. He wanted to get paid max bread and all this stuff. So from what I was told, the Warriors came in with a super disrespectful offer off the jump, just like, and his people weren't rolling with it. And then that's where all this stuff started. But it was even below. I think they were talking about Jalen Johnson deal, the 5 for 150, saying he would have took that if that deal was offered. From what I heard, that deal was not offered. It was significantly lower than even that. Yeah, and it's like, I'm not going to take this whole deal right now from y'all.
Yeah, no, it was one. He was hoping for what 5 for 150. They was thinking 5 for 120.
Those are the numbers. That's the range that I think the 5 for 120 was what was put on the table. Take it or leave it. And it's like, now I'm gonna bet on myafself. And it's like, okay, we got the deck, nigga. The game is rigged. You don't have the cards right now.
And that's what I said. After I realized, after the start of the season would have started, I would have realized this deck is rigged, and I would have protected my money by signing that deal. Right? I'm gonna sign a deal, 2-year option out for 2027. I would have did something to sign it, and that's why I said you're gonna have 3 guys open this free agency. The first one to say I'm willing to take that deal, you gonna be happy. The other 2 gonna be miserable because they're never gonna get that money back. So Giddey, if I'm Giddey right now and they got a 5-year, 95-year, 100, take the deal. Take the deal. Because all that's going to happen is, Giddey has more power than them because he's a starter, right? So he can still get his numbers and be attractive next year, right? When you're talking about Kaminga and saying, I'm going to take a $7.9 million qualifying deal, do you really think that they're going to lose an asset for nothing? So I'm going to let you go out there and turn yourself into a max player on my time? Nah, right? So I'm a with your time again, right? So this is the business of basketball that nobody likes to look at. They think everything is all peachy. I average 20. This is what I'm going to get paid. That's not how it always is.
But back when you were playing, obviously it's a different time now, different CBA, second apron, all that stuff going on. Back where you were playing, wasn't always, let me look at the comps, right? Here are the comps and here's the bags comparable to whatever I'm putting up. So if I'm putting up whatever, maybe 20 and 5, this is what 25 is getting paid right now. This is how much I feel like I deserve. Kaminga not at that level. I think he averaged like 15 and 5 last season. Getting put in the doghouse. The year before was like 15 and 5. It shot over 50% the first 3 seasons of his career. I think this last season he was under that for the first time. Yeah, we shot 53% and 23-24. Shot 45%. So you can see he's getting fucked with. Numbers were down across the board. So they're trying to drive the price down. And now at this point, with this second apron, with the way that this free agency has gone, CBA, those bags frankly aren't there. I think it was only a couple of teams who even had bread to get these type of moves made, to get some at that level. And it seems like at this point, and that's why we're talking about too about the Warriors not making a ton of moves. It seems like they're at a standoff right now with this Kaminga deal, trying to get it done. Obviously, it feels like the sign and trade is probably the only real true option at this point to keep both sides happy, because this dude, he's not going to be happy there. You already.
No. Listen, the second apron is something that it's like anything, right? When something new is coming in, because you don't really understand it, everything is on pause. Right. So now you got Boston over there cutting their roster down. You got New York doing what they're doing. Right. You got all these people because they don't know how it's going to affect you. All they're doing is just reading language. So that usually that first summer something's coming in, everyone panics. So this is the summer everyone's panicking because they don't know what is to be expected and how do you get penalized in real life. I said it before. I said if I was an owner, like I'm the late, I would have sold my team too. If there's a $10 billion, cash prize out there. How long is this deal for? 4 years, 10 years, 6 years?
For what?
This new CBA.
What are they let me see when it expires. I think they're like every 6 or whatever. Let me see.
Because for the next 6 years, literally, I can't win a championship. This is going to be some free-for-all, everyone spread, the winning around type of deal, and I don't like that as an owner. So you're telling me I can't spend my money without being penalized, and I don't like that, right? If I'm worth, 16, 17 billion, and this nigga over here is worth 2 billion. Why are we playing on the same rules?
So they can opt out of the agreement. Both league and players union have the option to opt out of the agreement after the 28-29 season. It's supposed to be 7-year deal, 7-year collective bargaining agreement through 29-30. But we're seeing, I guess, off this new 70-something billion dollar TV deal, like the cap can only raise by 10% every year, right? And the bread is, I think, surpassed that with this this new TV deal. But no matter what, the cap can only go up by 10%. So players are gonna start getting salty.
But again, it's I don't think anyone, just from listening to owners talk to owners, not the general managers, not fucking media, owner, right? I don't mind paying, right? I don't mind paying 100 million to these players. What I don't want to do is you put this invisible stop sign here, and you say, well, hey, if you pay over this the first time, dollar for dollar. The second time, times it by 2. The third time, times it by 5. Now this $500, this 500 is costing me damn near 25 million for the same player. I don't like that.
Yeah,
like you're literally trying to steal my money for trying to win. That's the problem with this. You're trying to penalize me for trying to build a team to win. Makes no logical sense, right? So the teams that stay sorry, hey, we gets taxed nothing, we pay, and all the teams that are trying to win championship get hit over the head. Like, how does that sound? That doesn't sound like an NBA that has to do with players' legacies.
Yeah.
Right? Think about it. My legacy as a player, their legacy is built on winning. The owners are getting penalized for winning. Jokic, his team owner, will be penalized for winning. So they're going to have to dumb that team. Shea, you're trying to win these back-to-back championships. This new contract stops all that.
Yeah, but I will say the one thing, because we talked about that with the Thunder and what was end up going to happen. So Shea signed that Supermax extension. Obviously, Chet Holmgren signed a max extension. I think Jalen signed the Supermax extension as well. But J-Dub, they're still going to be all right. I think they've finessed and finagled, and Sam Presti has kind of seen and looked ahead down the runway. This squad is going to be all right for the next couple of years. Yeah, they're going to have to make some tough decisions down the road with some of the lesser dudes on the squad, but they have such an arsenal of picks that they can basically retool with these lower level contracts. Like we talked about it with the Nets, where they had the 5 first-round picks, but it's like the amount of bread you're paying for these 5 first-round picks for the amount of time that you're going to have them. Like at some point, you're going to see some good turnaround with that. And that's not saying the Nets are a good squad by any stretch of imagination, but with these Thunder, those 3 are going to be good to go. It's kind of those pieces surrounding y'all. Eventually, some moves are going to have to be made. But we're talking about just our core of this young crew. Obviously, J-Dub and Chet are much younger than Shea. Shea a little bit older, but we got this squad for the next 3-4 years. And really won't be hitting that second apron anytime soon, especially with these 10% increases.
But think about it like this. If I was allowed to have my team the way it is, and there's no 3 times, 4 times penalty, right? You just, I'm paying dollar for dollar, right? Now, if Katie want to come to my team on his last year, I should be able to say, come on over here. Let's do some winning. I should be able to build my team. Like if you're going to penalize teams that didn't draft their players. So if I'm on that committee, I'm saying, all right, Shea is not your guy. So his contract is fully on yours. Now you get a discount for paying Williams and
Chet. Those are your homegrown.
Right. So if you drafted a guy, you don't get penalized for it. You only get penalized for guys you're signing and trading, or you're signing free agency, right? So you get penalized on those guys in real time, but the guys that you drafted, there's no penalty against your cap on that.
Yeah,
You
it
get
shouldn't be.
penalized against people you bring in. That's what I will be saying. That's fair deal. So now you make drafting more important, but now right now you're penalizing for being smart. You want everybody dumb.
And we've seen this, like, damn, team built through the draft like the Thunder built, and down the road, you're going to punish them for being good at their jobs. Another thing, like I always tell y'all, is like in a country that prides itself on being capitalist and capitalism, free market, all that other bullshit, but we talk about the salary cap, and when it's black athletes involved, then we got to cap the salary. I've never understood that logic and rationale. If people are good businessmen, they'll be good businessmen. But like you're saying, this thing basically punishes people that try to be good businessmen and saying, damn, you want to invest and spend on this team, then you got to break all this bread with these boo-boo teams that don't want to do any of that. They don't even want to hit the cap.
And this is why having debates about players' legacy when it comes to rings, and now for the first time, you get to see the business of basketball. You literally get to now watch it in real time. They are penalizing teams that want to win and stack their rosters. So now that means teams that are right there and getting ready to jump into that next, they got to dumb their team down to get under a certain cap.